Man, just like old times.
What's going on, everyone? It's the Colby and Burns show. We kicked Kyle off now.
Yeah, now Kyle is kicked off. Kyle, the way this happened is actually pretty comical. Goes through this whole rant about how consistent and cool he is. Has the big streak going for the longest running host on consecutive shows. And then writes us, streak's over, can't make it. But as you're listening, if you're listening from your device, everything sounds normal to you because we're recording. We actually might sound better. If you're watching on YouTube, we apologize. I run a Mac. Burns has his stream set up stuff. I could not figure out how to get the desktop audio to record in a timely manner. I'm going to work on it more later. But here we are. And Burns dropped some amazing nugget on me before the show. We are currently a top 100 podcast on Spotify.
Apparently, we don't know these things because we don't get to see the numbers.
But someone sent it to us.
Someone said that we were in the top 100. So we're going places now. We're going places.
I mean, you could honestly say that we're a top 100 podcast on Spotify, and if you don't like that, you could suck it.
Welcome, but anyways, welcome to the show. Colby's Seahawks putting my Vikings in a pretty tough spot to. We're just not very good. But anyways, Colby, you had a little bit of a rant to give us about Walmart layaway.
Yeah, I'm going to do that after I say, hey, sorry about that. But good news is I got that coach fired for you.
There you go. You got the OC fired. There you go.
And he'll probably go get a head coaching job next year somewhere and take his team to the playoffs. So Walmart layaway, everyone's familiar with that. If you're not, just to give you a little background, basically... you buy an item. You don't even buy an item. Do you have to put any money down, Burns?
I have no idea. I'm not who would be in a position to have to do a layaway on.
I think you actually might have to put some sort of money down. But I'll look it up after I get rid of it. That's not the point of this rant. If you have to do layaway and you want to get your kid a Christmas present, you do it. That's awesome. So here's the story that was going viral. Tyler Perry from all the Tyler Perry movies. He got I almost said caught. Caught's not the word. He went to a Walmart or a couple Walmarts, and he spent $460,000, and he bought every item that was on layaway for these families, for their kids and all that stuff. Right? So he did that. Then another celebrity saw that, and he's like, "Oh yeah, take this, Tyler Perry. I went and did it, and that person did like $600,000 in their town. Like, they went to for here they would go to all the different." Walmart's within a driving distance, $50,000-$60,000 a pop at all these ones adds up, $400,000 by the end of the day. So that guy did it. Then Tyler Perry did it again. It was a great story. So down the street from my house, there's a Walmart. Some guy went there yesterday and he said, "Hey, I want to buy everything on layaway." So they did it right here in my town. Like this is like a trending give back cool thing. Mm-hmm. Now here's where the rant starts. That's all cool. I hate how people will take this story. It's amazing. It's awesome. Everything about it is cool. But then what they do is they say stuff like, well, he just did it because in the end it's a tax write-off for charity. He doesn't really care.
It's actually not, though.
And that's the thing. But then they say that. The other one is, well, he only did it because look how much publicity he's getting now. He's going to make that back alone just in publicity. I can't stand people anymore, man. Like, how can you take something that is I can't even talk. Genuinely sweet, kind, caring, all of the words, like home run. You can't do anything nicer in this situation. Like, he's getting stuff for the less fortunate because he's very fortunate. And you still have people who can sit there and say shit like that. It blows my mind.
I never understand the whole argument of, well, first of all, I'll say that doing this is not a tax write-off because Walmart is not a charitable organization. They're a for-profit company. So they're not going to give you like a slip saying that you donated to them to pay off layaway, that they're not a charitable organization.
So he wouldn't get
myth
one busted.
Yeah, so he wouldn't be able to write that off as a charitable donation. Good PR? Maybe, but why wouldn't you want good PR? So you're telling me that it makes someone a bad person, or maybe, is it shady to get good publicity while at the same time doing something good for your community? I don't see the problem.
Yeah, it's just I'm gonna look up how much it was. Tyler Perry. So then let's go back to the argument for good PR. Tyler Perry is worth $130 million. It says no. Sorry, that's how much he made from 2010 to 2011. He's worth $600 million. Tyler Perry is a smart businessman. He is gonna be able to find a better way if he's looking just for PR. Then that's gonna cost him less than that. You know what I mean? Like, he doesn't need PR. He's worth $600 million. He can shit out a Medea movie and one of these whatever dumb things he does, and he's gonna make millions of dollars. He doesn't need PR.
I don't understand. Even if he did need PR, what's wrong with doing something nice for your community and in exchange you get good PR? I mean, that's a pretty good trade-off.
Yeah, it's just the thing that just made me. I was not mad enough that I actually like.
I see that with like big YouTubers too, or like Twitch streamers who will do will donate a bunch of charity or do like a charity stream or like a charity video, and yeah, you get good PR and you get a pretty hefty, nice tax write-off. I mean, imagine if you made $1 million and you donated 100,000. That gets you out of a tax bracket.
Yeah,
you get your PR. So
yeah, I think that there's just like a negative, just a negative way people think nowadays. So the other person who did it was Kid Rock. Kid Rock did it at a Tennessee Walmart. He dropped $81K and bought 350 layaway items. And there's just like pictures of moms crying and stuff. Like, I get where you're coming from saying like, but you don't have to be negative towards everything, man. It's the holidays. These people, and the other one too, which I've only seen a little bit, is just like, oh man, he should come do that for me. Like that, those type of people too that are like seeking out are the same people that will be like, oh, he's just doing it for tax write-off. Like, shut up, man. Burns, did you see all the stuff about like when the guy was trying to take down cam girls for not paying their taxes? And
yeah,
all these tax experts came out of the woodwork. You got something else brewing. I can tell you're brewing on something.
I'm gonna see how much.
We'll get to that tax the cam girl thing in a second.
Hold on. I'm gonna get this. So let's say. I don't know if this is accurate math, but I'm just doing it on the U.S. tax brackets for I think this is 2017, but they have or 2018. So let's say someone made like $600,000, right? And they donated $101,000, right?
Yeah.
So that gets them out of a tax bracket. That takes them out of the 37% tax bracket and 35% tax bracket. So that $100,000 that they donated to charity, if they would have kept that in their income that they had made, that would be taxed at 37%, and that'd be $37,000 that goes to the United States government. Instead, he sends $100,000 to a charity.
Dang.
So
I get that the Twitch streamer one, when you say that, like, yeah, that makes sense. That could drop them down and all that stuff. It's just sometimes, man, you just get brewing. So did you see any of the cam girl stuff?
Oh yeah, like they complain they don't pay their taxes or whatever, or they don't, the IRS wants to collect on it. But
yeah. Then like all the pitchforkers came out of Reddit as tax experts. And
yeah, of course.
But then so I was actually watched Philly D's video on it just because it came up, and I was like, oh, that's actually pretty interesting. I'm gonna watch this. And he made a really good point where he actually went through like the process that you have to do and like the forms you fill out for like not insider trading, but whatever they're like tax invasion forms and stuff.
Tax evasion, yeah.
You have to have like their social, like their address, their estimated this, their estimated that. It's like a 7-form process. And he's like, none of these people are doing this from their mom's basement. I was like, oh, snaps.
You know what's crazy about the IRS? I don't know if this is accurate or not, but I just have this feeling that like they don't care how you make your money. They just want you to pay taxes on it.
Oh, 100%, 100%. So we talked about this a couple weeks ago. It might have been the lost episode. We talked about Tekashi getting locked up, the rainbow hair rapper.
Mm-hmm.
So in the process of him getting locked up, all of his assets and stuff are frozen and everything comes out there in public, like whatever. And he had $1.2 million in his bank account, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I started thinking about that. And I was like, you know what? That's really not that much money for what he's done, right? He gets $100,000 a show. And he did over 60 shows. Talk about just blowing your money. And you know what?
Either he's blowing his money or that money is in non-cash assets. So.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. It's just funny because he now it's like you can't really flex too hard because everyone knows exactly how much money you made and whatnot. Like, I'm worth 10 million. It's like, nah, man, you're worth 1.2 million in the.
Well, that's not taking into account his non-cash assets like homes, properties.
Yeah.
Investment accounts, things like that.
Which is still just funny though, because it's like, wait, you do the quick math. I wonder where he also was just blowing it on like all those like bags and designer everything.
Speaking of like investments, that just made me think of something. Have you ever been on Wall Street Bets on Reddit?
One sec, Burns.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm about to call in.
We're just doing audio, so I'm recording you on this.
Are you guys fucking rookies?
Well, we can't get the desktop audio to load through Zoom, and we tried on our thing, and it just sounded so bad. Yeah. So
we need the professional Kyle.
Yeah, Burns said we need the professional Kyle.
God damn it! I leave for one show. Are you guys doing the show right now?
You're on.
Yeah, we're doing it right now. Say hi.
Oh, look, I didn't say the N-word.
Burns is laughing at you.
For everybody listening, how high are we right now, Hess? Fucking 6,800 feet, and I'm on the show.
Send us a picture. We'll put it in as thumbnail.
Okay. Now think back. Jimmy was about 2.5 feet from his fucking computer, and he couldn't show up.
Yeah. Well, what's funny is we talked about that. Bird made a good point, like how one time he was just talking to us in Skype while we're recording.
Also, Birds is talking shit.
Yeah.
Did you guys give the explanation on how Burns pleaded, and he even cried a little bit and said he wants to be part of this?
Oh, he's defending himself right now.
I cried.
He wants to be part of this ride.
Yep.
I had to plead and beg.
The first one.
That's what we said. We said, look at this guy, riding his white horse here, talking about how he never misses a show, and here we are. And then they were like, and we can't figure this shit out.
So we rode yesterday just for a little bit. So I'm like, fuck, I don't need to fill the bikes. Both bikes ran out of gas within the first 45 minutes.
Oh no! How did you get back down?
Well, I had a full fuel can, but we had to split it between two bikes.
Oh no, that could have been real bad.
Hey, fuck you! Whose bike are you riding? Hey, this is Colby. Colby.
Yeah, me and Hess played fourth grade basketball together, third or fourth grade.
Yeah.
We were on the red team.
So we have a random dude out here with us, the first customer for NTD Tours.
Nice.
And he just ran into a tree.
Is he dead? Don't tell me he's dead.
We had to resuscitate him, but he should be good.
When are you gonna get Burns out here?
Oh, I would love to see Burns on fucking dirt bike, dude. A little string bean.
Well, give us an ad on your way out if you want to leave.
Like a promotion for me?
Yeah, do whatever you want, man. It's your time to shine.
Hey, I'm stepping up this MTD tour stuff. Come out to Washington, or if you're already in the area, hop on a snow bike. It's probably going to be around $250, $300, $400, $500. You get to hang out with me for the day. You get a machine, you get fuel, you get food, and possible blowjob, which is worth about 75 cents.
Dang, that's a discount.
MTDtours.com. We'll also be doing razor tours.
mtdetours.com/org/backslash.org.
All right, guys, make it a good show. You got to step it up. Call somebody on Craigslist.
We'll figure something out.
Yeah, do something fun. Do something out there, just outrageous.
We're probably gonna call it here at 15 minutes.
All right. See you guys later.
Bye.
Later.
You know when you like call somebody when they're in prison? I felt like that was better connection than what Kyle just gave me up to the mountain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyways, back to the investment stuff. So do you ever go on Wall Street Bets on Reddit?
No, I'm gonna do that right now.
No, so it's just like a place where people like talk about investments and stuff like that. You know how the market's just been getting slaughtered the last like 2 weeks?
Yeah, just destroyed.
Yeah, so like just full disclosure, I lost like $11,000 in my portfolio in like a week, right?
In just 1 week?
Yeah, dude, it took a fucking dive, man. But some people who've been investing their whole life or whatever, this buddy sent a screenshot of his fucking portfolio year to date minus 800K.
Oh no.
Dude, can you imagine if you were like 65 getting ready to retire and you get hit with a recession? Your life's fucked. You're fucked.
So give me all right, this is gonna expose me for being kind of an idiot here. Give
fine.
me a full breakdown really quick. Not a full breakdown. Give me like a Cliff Notes. So since what month are we in now? So since September is when it started kind of turning down, right?
Yeah, I mean, what was the peak? I think the peak was like 26,000 on the Dow, right? So that's usually what I look at. Usually the Nasdaq's kind of a better idea of how the stock market is doing as a whole. But like the Dow Jones is kind of like what you want. You want to look at like the index funds like Apple and Nike and things like that.
What's the one where they put like the 100 top companies and that's
the
S&P?
S&P 500.
500, yeah. That's what I've always been kind of told to.
But the Dow kind of gives the whole market as a whole, I believe. Like the S&P 500, those are like your index funds that are like you want to be super safe because kind of like if the S&P is doing well, usually the rest of the market is doing well as well.
Got it.
But like the Dow Jones is kind of like the one everyone kind of seems to pay attention to. Like
Wall Street is Nasdaq, Dow Jones, 1 and 2. That's like
and the New York Stock Exchange.
And the New York Stock Exchange. Okay. Because I've watched like all the insider trading stuff. I've watched like American Greed and everything, and I always like can pay attention to that stuff.
Yeah, I'm gonna look up and see what the Dow.
Yeah, so give me a little breakdown. So I know at some point, like I remember maybe it was more towards the summer, and everything was still skyrocketing. What caused, my question is to you, what do you think caused like this initial turn down and what's going to happen?
So let's look at it right now. So like the stock market at the beginning of 2018 was like around like 24, I want to say 24,000. And it peaked at 26,252, right?
Yep.
Right now it's at 24,506. So it pretty much every gain you made was pretty much gone, right, for the year. It's pretty much not even a 1%. And typically, you're looking at between 3 and 5% gains every year on average. But obviously, you're gonna have years where you just get crushed. So you get to ride it out for a long time. But the downturn has really been, like, if you read about it, it's mostly like the just uncertainty about like the tariffs and everything that the Trump has been putting on, like
all the steel stuff and whatnot.
Yeah, all like the tariffs, like the soybean tariffs and like the steel tariffs and all that shit. Because that's like a tax on
basically. So let's go back another step, right? So Trump's big thing was, I've seen him say market's never been higher, economy's never been better. If he's putting these like sanctions and stuff on the China and all that stuff, and it's causing the market to crash. Is he gonna keep doing it? I mean, I
don't think he really understands like how the market works. So let's put you in a scenario, Colby. All right, you're a soybean. Yeah. You're a soybean farmer now, right?
Yeah. By the way, side note, watch a documentary on soybeans. One of the hardest things to produce. Okay, keep going.
Yeah. So China was the #1 buyer of U.S. soybeans, right?
Yep.
So you're a soybean farmer, you're selling to all of America, and you also have a lot of international soybeans, right? International buyers for your soybeans, right?
Yep, killing it.
So now Trump puts like tariffs on like Chinese steel and like some other Chinese products, right? So in response, China puts tariffs on soybeans, right?
That means I have to pay more to ship it, right?
Yeah. So
ship it out?
basically, you have to pay pretty much a tariff to have it, or China would have to pay a tariff to you. I'm trying to think how it goes. So so in order for China to pick up so you ship your soybeans, right?
Yeah.
And your buyer goes to pick them up at the shipping yard or wherever they're picking them up. They have to pay a tariff before they can pick that up. They have to pay a tariff to the United States, right?
Got it.
And China's like, well, fuck that. I'm just going to go buy it from somewhere else, which the other big soybean producers are in South America, Brazil, I think. So they say, fuck you, Colby. We're just going to go buy our soybeans somewhere else.
I see.
So now you have a bunch of soybeans you just can't sell.
And it probably hurts. And then it probably would hurt the U.S. market as well because now there's an overpopulation of damn soybeans. No one's buying them.
Yeah, and then on top of that, like to try to take the hurt out of you, they send you a farm subsidy. So they send you a check from the United States government to kind of keep you from going bankrupt, right?
Yeah.
But as a soybean farmer, you probably you'd rather sell your product than get like free money just to keep you afloat, right? I mean, you'd rather just have people you can sell your shit to.
Yes, well, especially because that's just, you just want to keep the process going, Do you know who would be perfect on that? Well, we'll do it maybe another time, but Mike and Ken argue about this exact topic in my group chat with them and like all my buddies every day. There's another day. Ken, who's super Trump, supports everything Trump does. Mike, who's the complete opposite, hates everything he does. They just battle each other.
I had a feeling that Ken likes to jerk off to Ayn Rand, doesn't he? He's just a big Ayn Rand fan. I could just feel it. He does, right? He loves like Atlas Shrugged and all that shit. That was his gamer tag, for Christ's sake. John Galt.
Now he's getting exposed on his own podcast that he showed up on last week for a little bit. So back. Let's go. So let's tie this all back into the market, right? So yeah. I've heard it's going down. I see it's going down. When do you think you'll hit like a bottom? Is it at the bottom, or is it going to keep going?
Usually you get recessions are almost like inevitable, right? And we're kind of overdue for one. We haven't had one in almost a decade. So some economists are saying by 2020 recession
will be over.
That's kind of when you start bottoming out, and
what year are we right now? What?
It's 2019 almost.
So you're gonna have to go a whole another year. Okay. So let's go back to something you said that was very interesting to me. 65 years old. That's your retirement. Let's just say this person had the same portfolio as you. They just lost $11,000 in a week.
Yeah.
What do they do, man? They're screwed.
All right. I mean, imagine you've been contributing to your 401k. The company you work for has been contributing to your 401k, and that just shits out, right? Like, you're fucked.
That's just crazy.
That's kind of why we have Social Security. So if you do get fucked, at least you're still getting a government check every week, right? Or every month.
That's probably another topic. That's probably another topic that Mike and Ken should get in here for, because isn't that going to get canned soon?
It's Social Security is not much. I mean, what's the most you can collect? I mean, I guess it depends how much you've contributed. Probably like $1,000 a month, which isn't much. I mean, it's basically just like if you've invested, right? That's your fund money, I guess.
Yeah, but even that nowadays, like, let's just say it's $1,000. Like, you're not renting an apartment. I mean, if you haven't paid your house off, you're hopefully paying your mortgage. I mean, you'd be screwed.
I mean, that happened to if I remember, that happened to like my aunt and uncle, like for the last recession, like in 2008, 2009. Like their whole 401k got like wiped out. Imagine if they were at retirement age, dude, you'd be fucked.
That is just scary. And then I also have been hearing, I know a lot of this depends on the area. People are going to be listening to this like, man, Colby is stupid, because I just listened to a lot of this stuff.
It's complicated. I mean, I'm not saying I know everything about it. I've probably said some things that are wrong in here. So if I say something that's incorrect or inaccurate,
let us know.
Please correct us on Twitter or hit us up. So
the housing stuff's crazy too, and that kind of scary, right? So yeah. I've heard that there hasn't been this many like consecutive ups, like it's still going up and it has to start falling, and everyone keeps saying it has to crash a little, it has to fall sometime. which is scary. Well, not really because I own one now, but like.
Well, like what happens is like no one wants to do the difficult things when the economy is good. So I'll just like an oversimplified way. Let's say the economy is doing really bad, right? So let's go back to 2008, 2009. The economy's in the shithole, right? I mean, what you want to do is the government needs to start spending money, right? They need to put stimulus packages together so people will start buying things again, right?
Yeah.
So you got to you got to borrow money and you pump it in. But when the economy's doing good, and also when the economy's doing bad, you want interest rates to be really low so people can borrow money and like start businesses and things like that. And when the economy's doing good, you don't want to spend a lot of money, and you got to cut your spending. And
because you don't have extra money.
Yeah, so like the economy's doing good, you want to lower taxes and you want to cut your spending. When it's doing bad, you want to up the spending and raise taxes. Basically, what they did is they lowered taxes and they keep spending a shitload of money, and interest rates are still low. And so what they're doing again is they're just borrowing money to people who will never be able to pay it back. And then when they default, the whole economy fucking crashes.
That's like that movie with Steve Carell and all those dudes.
Yeah, basically, yeah. They give credit. They give low. They give low interest, big time loans to people who will never be able to pay them back. Like who can't afford a house. Like here's a $700,000 house, and your take home income is less than $3,000 a month. Good fucking luck.
Yeah, we'll see you in a couple months when we come take that from you.
Right.
It's a scary. I mean, it's scary because I feel like the world is so much harsher now than it was the last recession and issues. And I would not be lying if I said I haven't thought that there would one day be a siren where it's like, all right, hour free, do whatever you want, like in this world that we live in.
Well, can you imagine, like, it's
the Purge, Purge.
The
That's what it's called.
We're just like thinking about investments again. Like they say, like the type of account I have, if I were to withdraw from it right now, I have to pay a penalty. Plus, I'd have to pay capital gains tax on it. And like, so you can pull it out whenever, but you do have to pay a penalty. And they say, when the market's bad and you're young, like I'm like 32, you would just stay in. You take a loss or whatever. Like I'm not touching that money anyways. Market will always bounce back as it always has. But it feels like you're timing it, right? So what if like your retirement comes and like it's doing really good and be like, oh, it's time to withdraw. Economy's doing great. I made a shitload of money in my investments. Gone. But if you time it poorly,
yeah, you're
fucked.
Yeah, that's a really good way to. I mean, it's not a good way to look at it. But that's a really good point. Like you can literally just time it wrong. Like it's like well, the other thing that's crazy, it's really like a teeter totter. I was gonna say it's like a merry-go-round ride. You have to hop off at the right time. But it's really just two ways, up or down.
Yeah, and it's like it'd be like no fault of your own. You're just, you're playing it safe for 35, 40 years that you've been saving and investing only to get fucked. Like you just
that's why
and you don't want to like and when you're like saving and that there's like nothing you can do because if you're just like saving money, you're not getting interest on that. If you're just sitting in a bank account, what's the best you can get on a savings account at a bank? It's less than 1%.
Oh, dude, my I got hit one time when I had a decent amount of money in my savings account, and I got like the return. It was like $3.82.
Yeah,
I was
dude,
like,
do you know how big of a interest rate people used to get on like just checking and savings account when my parents were like growing up? Like over 7%.
That's like when they had the theory.
That's insane.
That's like
that's
when they
absolutely
used to have
insane.
The theory used to be. Back in the day, like you could get $1 million off a penny if you contribute a penny every day, type thing. Because it's like
so, like what's crazy is that like people got those type of interest rates just in basic checking and savings account. You could just keep your money there. It's just like a guaranteed interest rate. Everything's going up. Now you open an account, the best you can get in a savings account is literally like I think it's even less than 0.5%, right? And when I worked at the bank, they did a promotion during the summer where if you opened a savings account and put more than $500 on it, you would get 3% for a year. And people were just like, "Oh fuck yeah,
yeah, 3%, let's get it." But that being said, 3% is better than like you're saying. What if you time it wrong and you put that in a safe investment that when the whole economy goes down, at least you're still making 3%, whereas you could just be tanking. So I saw something on this Reddit that you showed me. CEO of MoviePass's parent company had $7.25 million in stock. Guess how much that's worth right now?
what?
Less than $50.
Whoo! in Movie Pass.
Yeah, because Movie Pass is dead.
Yeah.
So that's like that YouTube.
But that's just playing.
That's like the dude from Smosh. You hear his he sold his Smosh channel to Defy Media, and then they just closed down, filed for bankruptcy and all that stuff, and like used all their YouTubers' checks to like for the bankruptcy court. And he came out with a video and he's like, "Well, that sucks because I sold my channel for stock in this company that's now bankrupt, so I sold my channel for nothing." It's like, oh, that feels bad, man.
Yeah. I mean, I have like, if you're gonna invest, I would say diversify it throughout the market, but you can still get fucked. But like, I don't know, man. Like, it feels bad. Like, I feel bad for people that like right now. I mean, it's not in a recession right now. The market's not doing like completely terrible. I mean, it's just usually like October. October's usually a really bad month, and the fact that it's like bleeding into December, which is a holiday month, which means this market should be killing it with retail. That's not a good sign.
Yeah, that's not a good sign. It is a good this is a good sign for Kyle, but not really anything on us. But you know how much money is the like gaming companies and stuff are making right now? That's got to be the only like one of the best industries out. It's 137.9 billion is the 2018 total.
Or if you invest in the right tech company.
Yeah, PC games. Then there's just specific like browser games, like the games that you can play inside Chrome. That's a $4.3 billion industry. So back when I would do like MLM stuff, and like I did like the marketing stuff. Let me clarify this. Like I actively knew that they were MLMs and pyramid schemes. I'm sorry, that was my past. But I made like the videos and like marketing stuff because it was a really good paying job. Plus they put me in the pyramid scheme, so I didn't have to recruit anybody really. Anyway, when our companies, one of the ones that I did it for was a company called Mona V, and when they hit $1 billion in sales, that was like game over. The biggest marketing piece we ever pushed. We didn't really have to push anything else because it's like, hey, we made. We're $1 billion company based off like investments and sales. Then it turns out that was all fake news.
No.
But it was like all of these companies' plan was to get enough like motivation, like people below, get it rising a little bit, fudge a little numbers here and there, and just try to take this thing to where it seemed like they were going to go public. But I think like maybe Amway and like the Nutra one, like they're the only ones that ever went like public. And you've seen that
Those
documentary.
Those are the biggest scams ever, dude.
Oh yeah,
I can't believe they allow MLMs to happen. And I got something to say about, because I don't have Facebook, but it seems like Facebook has been taken over by some MLM people. Am I wrong?
Oh, Kyle would have he follows like the MLM Facebook thing on Reddit.
No, yeah, anti-MLM. It's great.
Yeah, he'll send me some of those. But here's the thing with like MLMs, right? I can't. So what you just said, Burns, is the perfect example. You're not really on Facebook, but you still know.
Oh,
like it's taking over. And here's the thing that like just blows my mind. And I get it. I was part of this problem 5 years ago. It's been 5 years. 5 years ago, we had to switch up marketing and saying different things because there was so much noise out there of be your own boss, independently free, all these like buzzwords. Everyone had been using them for so long that when you said it and you put it in a video and you put it out there, people are like, oh, MLM, pyramid scheme, scam.
Yep, 100%.
You know, it's been 5 years. You know what they say? Be your own boss. Financially independent.
Bullshit, though.
Travel
Bullshit.
and make money.
All these people are fucking poor. Don't try to. I'm a
It's the
business
lotto.
owner. No, you're not.
It's the lotto. It's the lotto. Okay, so let me break down another MLM big thing that nobody really knows. Like, so car bonuses, right?
Yeah.
Hey, Burns, but my upline guy, he drives a brand new 2018 BMW, and the company got it for him. Okay, let me explain to you really quick how that works, right? Let's say I'm that guy, and I signed you up, right? So I'm getting money off you now that goes towards me. I get a car allowance. It's a very interesting way of wording it to where the company guarantees that you'll wrap that car or put some kind of logo of their brand on it, and they give you, from the check that they were going to give you anyways, right? For hitting a certain level, they'll give you like $200 to start. Then it's $400. then it's like $600. So when you get $600 a month car allowance, you can go lease a pretty nice car. Well, here's the problem. Most places at least require a 1-year lease. Most of them are 2. So now you're on the hook for this $550 car allowance that's paid for by the company, right?
Yep.
But it's a 2-year lease. What if that company goes under in 6 months afterwards? You're not going to be able to go turn around and make your $630 payment on your thing off your next job. So what these people do, it is genius. It's genius. Is they false market these things as like, oh, but Burns, I can show you how to get a BMW too. The question, if someone says that to you, you need to say, and it will end all of it, is just be like, oh, did you lease it? Oh, do you pay for it? Oh, how long is the lease on it? Or did the company actually buy it for you? And they'll always be like, there's your red flag right there.
Yep.
Because I've seen these things fold, and I've been doing marketing for one where everything seemed fine, and in a week it was done. All it takes is a little bit of bad press and a couple people missing a couple checks, back end system issues.
It's all a scam, man. It's just like they try to pull people in who like wish they were rich and they want the appearance of being rich, but they don't really want to work for it, really.
No, it's a get rich quick scheme.
Yeah. So anyways, I have a good all these MLM products, I have a new favorite one. All right?
Yep, I'm ready for it.
My new favorite one is the alkaline water.
Oh my gosh, I follow a dude on that. Oh.
Let me rant about this real quick because I think someone my girlfriend works with drinks it, right? And I've seen like something on Twitter, like someone is sponsored by it or whatever. I'm like, oh, it's alkaline water. Get the acidity out of your water, right? Because I don't know.
Stop drinking poison.
Yeah. So here's the thing, right? It's fucking water, right? So. And it's like, oh, it helps your pH level in your body be not as acidic. So here's the thing about that, right? Your body's pH level is about 7.4, I think, something like that. I can't remember the term for it, but your body self-regulates that by the kidneys. So if your body is not doing that, you do not need alkaline water. You need to go to the hospital immediately. Because you might need a new kidney. And it's like, what are you talking? And I've seen like there's been people who have like studied these things so they've gone into like grocery stores and like tested the pH levels of the alkaline water, and they're all different because once the sunlight hits it, it's gonna become more acidic. I just love how dumb people are. It astonishes me.
Just in that one rant that Burns just had, I typed in Kangen water, which is the one I always see where it's like, stop drinking poison. You got to stop drinking poison. By the way, these guys that are selling this stop drinking poison, it's not hard to YouTube them and see what they were pushing before. And these are guys that I've known when I lived in Utah. They were in the industry. They first started selling juice. Then they sold energy drinks. Then they sold how to make money in Forex by doing nothing. Then that crashed. Then they sold how to make money in crypto, and then that didn't do good. Now they're selling this water thing. And in 1 second, I found 3 different things. Myth exposed on CBS News. This is from 2011. Dr. Oz explains how antioxidants in Kangen water fight cancer. 2014. CBS comes back last year with another one, Kangen water scam exposed. These machines are $4,000. If Dr. Oz is ever promoting something, it's a scam.
Oh, 100%. He's the biggest scam artist in the world, dude.
That Adam Ruins Everything show that I always bring up, one of the ones he talks about is like doctor shows and stuff, and how they're all basically backdoor deals. So like Dr. Oz has something where they're like, hey, go push this, we need to do this, whatever, like yada yada yada. But here's the thing with these machines and these people and whatnot is they're to the point where they're numb. I just mentioned 5 other things that they were selling to where now they're like, okay, what's the product? All right, we're going to go sell people water? Shit, okay, let's do it. At what point does a red flag not go off in your head where it's like, product to sell, hats, markers, candles, TVs, any of these things I can get behind. Water. Oh, water? Yeah, that's a good one. Everyone needs water. Who's spending $4,000 for a water filter, man?
Dude, here's what I'm saying. Here's how I know it's a scam, right? So most places have pretty good water treatment systems, especially if you live in a big city, right? Like right now I'm drinking tap water. It tastes absolutely delicious. It comes out of the Mississippi River and is treated by the city of Minneapolis. They don't even need, it's so good, they don't even need water softeners if you live in Minneapolis. So I'm perfectly healthy, never had a problem. It's delicious. That's great. Why? And here's, I have a theory about why people fall for this nonsense. You want to hear it?
Of course I do, because this is a great rant right now.
Okay, so when you're going through high school and everything, right? Everyone took science classes, right? Right? Everyone took science classes. Most people, if you went to a decent high school, probably have a very basic understanding of science and how it works, right?
Yeah, I did the pH test where you drop a little color in there.
Yeah. But if you're not like in a scientific field of work for your career, and you go and try to read, like go on Google Scholar and type something that you're interested in and try to read a scientific research paper. It's very difficult to read. The language is very it's really scientific. Like they use big words that you don't understand. It's very hard to read a scientific paper. You pretty much have to be trained to read it and understand it. So a lot of people know the basics. A lot of people don't know anything. So to take advantage of that, all you have to do is make something sound scientific. That's all you have to do. And people will believe it. You just have to make it sound science-y.
Well, that's like, I mean, you could say that for, anything that's popular nowadays. So, like, you could do how to make money online. I'm an expert in the field. I've been doing this for 10 years. I got my degree, or I'll even go a step back. This is the
and it's even easier for like people who like graduate. Like I call these people failed scientists, right? So I call like if you graduate with a degree, like if you just have a degree and you haven't like published any research or you don't really like work in a high level position in that field, you're not really an expert, I would say.
Well, my wife got a psychology degree, Burns, and has never used it. You want to say that to her face?
But I'm just saying, like,
no.
So, like,
I've
these
agreed.
people that like graduated this, are like, oh, I could never get a job at a research facility. I couldn't get a job at a university. I can use my knowledge to bullshit my way into a lot of money, right? Because you have an authoritative name. Oh, I have a graduate degree in organic chemistry. So here are all these chemicals in this thing, and I'm a biochemist graduate, and this is gonna solve your cancer. Well, people are just like, oh well, he must know what he's talking about. Yet he hasn't published any research on it. But people aren't gonna go read a research paper. They're just gonna take him at his word because he has a doctor in front of his name, right?
Well, then you get a bunch of people pushing it. Like I said, like these people obviously will push anything. I mean, you can also even look at this the other way. The other way that I always see, especially for like make money online people, is I'm a college dropout and I made $1 million. But then like, that's like the sales thing. Like even Vaynerchuk is like, I dropped out of high school, Jake Paul. I dropped out of high school. There's this dude who always targets me on Instagram where he's like, college is a scam. Here's why I dropped out in 1 month. Now I'm a successful businessman. You want my steps to success? All it is $37 a month. And it's like, dude, one, if you have steps to success and you know it's provenly working, it's like working consistently, you wouldn't give it away. Second, if it was of any value and it took time, effort, money, and energy from your time, you wouldn't sell it for $37. If it really worked, this would be, thousands of dollars. Like if I was to go get mentored by Mark Cuban and he had the steps to success, that's probably going to cost $100,000. He's not selling me something for 30. That's bullshit. So these people are pushing.
I know like Kyle likes to say like college is a scam or whatever, but I just want like one person that's like studying for something in college to like have this sort of reply, be like, college is a scam. Look at me, I'm a successful businessman. I dropped out of college after 1 month. I just want someone to be like, yeah, so I want to go into medical research and do like cancer research to find treatments and maybe even a cure. And I hope that person goes to school.
Oh yeah. Well, that's like the thing. So, traditional college, we could say, is a scam.
Yeah. I mean, I'll say like
doctors and
I'm gonna say intro level classes that you took in high school should not be required that you got for free, right?
Yeah.
Like, why do I have to take an introduction to psychology class as an elective to get college credits when I'm not studying for that. You should only be going to school for the classes that you need. Like if you want to be a chemist,
that's the key, Burns.
Yeah.
You just nailed it on the head.
If you want to be a chemist, I want you taking every chemistry. You probably need some biology classes in there too, because the fields kind of overlap a little bit. That's all the classes you should be taking. Right?
Well, so think about it like this. Let's just say that there's 22 chemistry classes to get your major, right?
Yeah.
Instead of filling up with 13 bullshit geography, anthropology, put them in something that's science-based that are
right? I would say that, like, if you're going for like chemistry, you should probably take some biology classes, some physics classes, and probably some math classes, right? What do you need to take like intro to psychology for? What do you need to take like a
anthropology? Geology.
Yeah. What are all these nonsense intro classes like?
Theater. I took a theater. I took a music.
Yeah, like why? Well, what are these pointless classes? All to make money for the university, obviously, but like.
So that's why I switched from communication. So video production was always my that's what I went to school for. I wanted to do like behind the scenes, like work at ESPN, like work cameras, edit footage. That was like what I wanted to do. So you have to go through quote unquote broadcast journalism was my major, right?
Yeah.
Well, broadcast journalism was actually the specification of communication. To get to communication, you had to do your prereqs first. So I took the rock class. I took a geography.
Why are we taking these classes? It has nothing to do with what you're trying to do.
And then
you learned all that stuff in high school, a lot of it.
Oh, it gets worse. So then I get into the communication part, which is technically my major. I haven't even got to my specification, which is broadcast journalism. So now I'm in communication, and I do my first quarter of that, and I'm like, oh, sweet, dude. I got like a 3.8. I'm super smart. Then my next quarter, I have debate. I have communication like 207, which is like interpersonal communication. So basically having a conversation.
Yeah, yep, interpersonal communications. I took that class.
And then I had like my first 300 level class, and it was only one day a week, and it was like in a big lecture hall, and it was like just like intro. It was basically like intro to communication. We talked about like when the radio came out and like how people sold ads on that, like that. And I was like, oh, that's actually pretty interesting. But then I realized I had to do like 13 more of these classes before I ever even touched a video rig. And I'm like, screw this, I'm done. I
remember like the first gen ed, like first semester of like freshman year of college, I remember doing like gen ed courses, right? There was like an intro to biology course. The first thought I had on like reading through the syllabus and like the first like unit that we did, I was like, I literally took this class in 11th grade.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm not the best at math by any means, but I remember taking my Math 101 class, and it was like PEMDAS and orders of operation. And basically, it was actually kind of nice to take it, because then I took CS 105, Computer Science 105, and it was if statements and like problem statements. So it was like if Burns doesn't work as an example, but if this box is, and then like the option is like pressed, clicked, whatever, then this happens. Like you learn, that was like the whole class. You want to know how hard it is to learn that? I just taught you that in 1 second on a podcast. Like it's the Computer Science 105 was the second biggest joke class in my life. First one was that intercommunication, where I ended up switching my major, literally went to the advisor and was like, I need to do something else. I want to do web design. And they're like, oh, well, you got to take these classes. And I was like, oh, sweet. Sounds good. I got to take a bunch of more BS, dude.
It's just nonsense, dude. Just let me take what I want and be out of there.
Oh, man. All my IT buddies out there who have gone to IT school know that IT 101 is like word processing, Excel, all that stuff. And then they make you take an IT like 301, which is like the advanced version of this. And all it is like writing formulas in Excel and just busy work. And it is the worst. My buddy Andy took it 3 times because it's just so hard to like motivate yourself to do it, because it's just crap. Right. It's just getting the university money. How much does the average college cost?
I'm going to guess $20,000 a year.
Colleges often report a combined tuition and fees figure. According to the College Board, the average cost of tuition and fees for 2017 and 2018 school year was $34,740 at private colleges.
That's private college, yeah. What about state universities?
State universities are $10,000 and $25,000 for out-of-state residents attending public universities. So now let's
imagine you went out of state and you went 4 years. That's $100,000 in debt.
Yeah, that's crazy. So let's just say, so 100,000, but that's just your tuition and fees, right? Tuition and fees, once you're out of like campus and everything, so you're still paying that 34,000, but hey, this just in. Now you got rent. Now you got books. Now you got food, and you got drinks. You got to get your drinks.
You got to get your drinks. It's in there.
Yeah, I mean that's like, that should be written in there. Like it's just crazy because now you see why there's so much college. Can I look this up? How much college debt? Oh, wait. I need to rephrase that.
Total college debt is probably over $1 trillion.
Oh, my God. Guess again. What'd you say?
I said it's probably at least $1 trillion.
1.5 trillion right now.
Ooh, boy.
That was from February 2018. So let's go back to what we were talking about. This is the perfect way to tie this thing together. When Burns was talking about the recession and everything bad that was happening and why it happens, I want everyone to remember what he said. He said that they give this money to people that they know will either have a hard time or no chance of paying it back. And my friends, we just tied a bow on this episode because we just said $1.5 trillion. This just in. I'm not an expert.
I want to make a prediction.
It better be bold. It better be bold.
It's going to be a bold prediction. So, with all this college debt, right? Not a lot of young people right now. And I'm talking like millennials who are between the ages of 22 and 30 right now. People that are like just getting into the workforce or like well into it, right? They have a shitload of debt that they just have no idea how they're going to pay back, right? So they can't buy a house. A lot of people aren't getting married as well, right?
Yep.
So they can't buy a house. So here's what happens when there's a recession, right? It just destroys middle-class people and lower-income people because they lose everything, right? You lose your whole 401k. But if you're like super rich, you're going to take a hit. But when after a recession, everything is so cheap that people that are super rich, they just gobble up assets for like nothing, right? And then so then the economy comes back and they get a huge profit on everything they bought up when the economy was shit. So here's what's going to happen. Here's my bold prediction, right? When the housing market tanks again, these rich people are going to be buying up properties like no tomorrow, right? And then they are going to rent them to people who can't afford houses, which are all the younger people right now, right? You will never own a house. These people will be forever rich because they gobbled up all these assets and now they're just renting them to you. They're gonna own all the fucking property.
I think that you could probably sit back and take the top 10 markets out there, and you could say that they will be manipulated and ran by all of these rich people, like you said, by
like rich corporations. Even I can even see like rich corporations like, all right, we're buying up all the property. We're gonna go into the business of renting out to people who are in such severe debt that they're never gonna be able to buy property.
Well, why wouldn't you?
You'll be perpetually renting for the rest of your life. And I'm going to own all the, and these people are going to own all the property and all the wealth, and everyone else is fucked.
Well, because you know what they'll do is they'll also cut out the middleman because they'll create these companies that will go and they'll act as their landlords and their maintenance and all that stuff, and they'll just create this big thing called Champion Real Estate, whatever.
Yeah, imagine if you had a shitload of money right now, Colby, and you saw the housing market tanked, and you went to like one neighborhood. Let's say you're in my neck of the woods. Let's say you go to a nice neighborhood in Minneapolis that just everyone just got evicted from their homes. Their homes went into foreclosure. You see like a whole block of homes that just got wiped out. And you have this big chunk of money. You say, I'm going to buy every single house on this block. I'm going to bulldoze them, and I'm making nice apartments, and people are going to rent them from me forever.
Oh, yeah. Or just like those new townhome ones that aren't even look like apartments.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, it's going to happen. I would be, if I was a betting man, which I am, I would bet on your prediction right now. Like, there's no question about that. Like, that's,
imagine if you're super rich, you're almost rooting for it to collapse.
You are for sure. So let's look at like I hate to, because we had a bow on it. I'm unbowing it. I'm unbowing the episode for a second. So people who will bet on shorts, like those people who are betting on shorts and stuff right now, they're all licking their chops.
Oh, 100%.
Because they know they probably have a ton of moves out there. but they also know that there's going to be so many more moves to make in the next year where they can short all these things and literally just make money off people's failures or
and
misfortunes.
then they gobble it up for cheap.
Oh yeah, then after everything goes down, then they go back and they buy it or they buy the companies. Like that's a common known practice for like the dude that was trying to take down not Scarelli, but it was another one of those pharmacy guys.
Yeah.
What he got in trouble for was he would basically spread news, tank these companies. He'd have a short on the companies. His short would hit. He'd make a ton of money, and then he'd turn around and he'd go buy the company and then drive it back up.
Do you think the U.S. should do what Iceland did when they had a huge like housing collapse?
What did Iceland do?
They took all the bankers and threw them in prison.
Oh, that'd be sweet. Did they really? That's awesome.
100%. They sent everyone to jail, dude.
I know. You know what the U.S. did or does is they give those guys bonuses.
They give them bonuses and give them a pat on the back because we're fucking spineless.
Yeah, it's crazy.
You know what's so funny is that like there's no. I'm gonna make one more point here. Like I'm gonna tie this around into something else. But you remember the Wall Street protest? What was it called?
Fuck. Oh, Occupy Wall Street.
Occupy Wall Street. Nothing happened, right? These people don't give a single fuck, dude. They're just like, oh, you want to like protest us? Well, fuck you. We're gonna keep doing what we're doing, or whatever. And like, did you ever study like the French Revolution, like way back in? I can't remember what year it was. Like way back, like 300 years ago.
Yeah, a long time ago.
Where they just like stormed the castle of Versailles and like they chopped the king's head off or whatever. And now like France is like having really violent protests right now over like their fuel tax and everything like that. And I saw a funny meme the other day that was like, it was like, America, if you don't vote, you don't get a say in anything. In France, fix it or fucking die.
yeah. Seriously, I'd be scared if I was in power over there. Well, there's another country that just they were like famished and everything like that, and then their leader was out there like getting fat and looking like a pimp and everything, and they tried to like take him out, like Venezuela or something like that.
I think I could see it happening eventually in the U.S. if it gets bad enough where like like we're saying like all the super wealthy. I'm not saying like I'll just say right now it's not wrong to be rich. Like I don't mind if you make a lot of money or whatever, but some people do some shady shit and it fucks over the rest of us, right?
Oh, there's a vast majority of these people who are, in these closed door meetings doing that kind of stuff that's affecting everybody, and they don't care.
Yeah, they don't care. But I was gonna say like if it gets bad enough where people are desperate enough, I could see it, people getting fucking killed, dude.
No, that's what I said, dude. I said
the most dangerous thing is a hungry animal backed into a corner.
Boom, Burns. That's how we end it right there. I also have a good title. I think we titled this. Please don't fact check this episode.
That's exactly right. We might have been talking total bullshit this entire time, but I'm just saying if we said anything, if you're like more of a financial major in college or you work in a field like this and we're factually incorrect on some things, please correct us so we can get it right next time. We'd appreciate that. We don't have a problem with being told that we're wrong about something. So
no, and there's probably times that we were, but at the same time, that was a really smooth, fun time.
That was a great time. Appreciate it, bud.
Please don't fact check this episode. I'll get it uploaded. Burns is going to send me his audio. Thanks, everybody, for listening, making us a top 100 podcast on Spotify. If you could do us a favor, go back to iTunes if you forgot that you can do this.
And rank us.
Rank us. Give us a little bump on there. Maybe we'll go up on that chart, too. Spotify listeners, shout out, sup. YouTube people, sorry that this is just audio only. That being said, suck it.
Suck it.
Bye.